From Screen Junkie Studio, this is Screen Junkies Movie Fights, brought to you by T-Mobile. Now your host, Andy Signor.
Greetings, Screen Junkies. Welcome to another episode of Movie Fights. We are live on ScreenJunkies.com here Thursday early. If you didn't know, we always do it here Thursdays at 4, and then we come to YouTube at Saturdays at 10. But I'm so excited for today because we have some really fun topics today. I'm looking at them, excited about this. Who would you most want to go out on the Purge night with? It's kind of fun. Improve any movie by making the villain a predator. And let's not bury the lead. The big fight of the episode is going to be what is the best Batman movie? We've been asking that. You guys picked 3 different movies. I was excited because you picked 3 good ones. It's going to be a good fight. We got lots more fun stuff coming soon, so stay tuned. Let's get to today's fighters. I'm so excited to have her back. She's the senior editor of Rotten Tomatoes. It's Gray Drake.
Yes!
Welcome back, Gray.
I'm weirdly curling my biceps to get myself pumped up.
Psyching them out, I see.
Yeah. Eat that, redneck. What's up, Cation? How you doing over there? Last names only, bitches. Nice work.
Yeah, that was a good, yeah. What's that called? You cut a good promo there.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Next up, you know him from the Screen Junkie Show. So happy to have him in the building. Busy guy. We have him back here. Hal Rudnick, welcome back to the show.
Hal Rudnick.
You know, Andy, it's good to be back, but I will tell you, came here to kick ass, chew bubblegum. All out of bubblegum.
I would say Gray's is better so far. But you did commit to it.
Thanks.
You did commit. So
Always judging.
Close. Finally, you've seen her on Conan at midnight and heard her on The Dark Forest. Jackie Kashin, welcome. Sorry, I'm not.
It's Dark Forest and Cation.
Cashin.
But who can't? It's Cation, like
really?
vacation, but no vey.
Dark. I did.
Dork.
It's
It'll
dark forest.
happen.
Sorry.
Guess
Who gives a
Andy
shit?
proved he was the
Hey, can I
dork on that
swear?
one.
Yes.
Who can swear?
Yes. We're not
Well,
supposed
then-
to, but you did, so it
I
happened.
did.
I just try to ignore it if
so
people do.
grow up, everybody. I'm here to shock and
adults.
awe
Jack, I'm
you
so happy
people.
to have you. I know you're a movie lover. You know the show. This is going to be a debate forum.
That's it. It's not going to be a debate forum. I'm going to say things and people are going to fold. That's what's going to happen.
Ooh.
You guys, wow, am I not going to be able to live up to that? But allow me to bring it.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to bring it.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Own it. This is going to be a
I'm gonna
pretty tough
tidy up
competitor.
right here.
She brought notes, so I know we're
notes.
She came to tidy up and steal pens. She's got
good. We
both.
count those pens. No, no, we don't. Guys, I'm so happy to have this. As always, on the couch, fact-checking your wrongs and rights. It's Mr. Dan Merle. Hey, Dan.
Hello, I already have a fact check. This is something the commenters get wrong too. The quote is actually, I've come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
So Hal also got the quote wrong.
Most people
so
invert
minus
it.
more points.
Most people invert it. It's
Gotcha.
chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum, said, of course, in the great film They Live, which was
Which
just
won
discussed
Best
last
Fist
week
Fight
here on
last
the show.
week.
Nice.
Wow, this may
Yeah.
be the earliest I've ever gotten shamed in a show.
Shame. Shame. No shame over in the fan cam. So happy to have Patrick Cummings. Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you.
Where are you from?
San Diego.
Okay, so you drove down from the whale's vagina?
I did.
Good. Drove up.
Up, yeah, up
Yeah.
from the way.
Yep. Stay classy.
Well, welcome, Patrick. I may need your help here, so pay attention. We're listening to the arguments. It's not about what we think. It's about, even though no matter what YouTube will tell me of what that I just pick what I like. It is really about the arguments. So listen for them, and I may come to you during the show to help us make that decision. Any questions before we begin?
How does it work?
Is it an audience of one?
I
So
knew what
did
you
Patrick
did there.
win?
I know what you were doing there. Oh, sorry. That was a nice accent. I identified it.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
You were doing a bit. It sounded like a bit you were talking to me about earlier, but let's not keep talking about
Okay.
intro. Anyway, let's get to today's show. Before we do, I want to thank today's sponsor, T-Mobile. Guys, today's fun is brought to you by the Uncarrier, introducing T-Mobile One. All unlimited, all in. Check it out. T-Mobile, we love you. Thank you for your support. Shall we do this?
Let's do this.
Round one.
Come on, let's get nuts.
Well, first,
I want to
this.
fight you.
You want to fight? Let him
Supposed to
fight.
update this, guys.
You stop this fight, I'll kill you.
I don't remember to update this because we had a good one. It's good. Just we could do better. Don't you
We
think,
could
Dan?
punch it up a little
Yeah, it
bit.
needs to be punchier.
We could
Every time I
punch it.
see it, I remember. Oh wait, we should just punch that one up. Round
punch
one. Guys, this was interesting news. Uma Thurman was making the rounds in the news saying that she regretted turning down Lord of the Rings. Miranda Otto took the role.
Oh.
Apparently it was, what's that
Eowyn.
character? Yes. Thank
Nice.
you. So interesting that, I would have regretted that too. Sort of a bad call. She decided she didn't see the vision. This is not the first, big time star who passed on a role though. So we wanted to ask this question. What's the one role an actor passed on that you wish they had accepted? It's a fun question. You guys picked some good answers. We're starting with you, Gray. What is the one actor who passed on a role that you wish they would have accepted?
Tom Hanks passed on Jerry Maguire. I could only assume that's in the lead role, obviously.
Not Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Tommy Toms doesn't play second fiddle.
It wasn't the Jay Moore.
It wasn't the Cuba Gooding Jr. role?
Nope, it was not.
Already.
Nope.
I didn't hear
So,
you.
the deal...
Lipnicki. You could say that.
Lipnicki?
Jonathan Lipnicki,
Yeah.
sorry.
Also, Tom Hanks was not playing the girlfriend role. I
Right.
think...
Thank you for completing that.
And the under fives.
Right.
That was not Tom Hanks's choice.
Yeah, so it's, gender biased and all that good stuff. I don't need your binary, etc. So I was thinking about Jerry Maguire as a whole and the role, right? This is why Tom Hanks would have been fantastic at it. The key to Jerry Maguire is that you have to both love and hate Jerry Maguire for the movie to work. Because he starts out a total douche. He hits rock bottom.
Right.
And then he has redemption, and it's fantastic because the entire time you're secretly kind of rooting for Jerry Maguire. Like, you want him to succeed even though he's kind of horrible. You know it's going to come around. So I'm like,
Do
what
I
Tom...
get to interrupt at any
Not
point?
yet. Let them do their
Fair
opening
enough.
statement.
This is an
Sorry.
opening
Opening
statement.
salvo.
I was like, what Tom played the role. Okay, so Tom Cruise was fantastic, except that Tom Hanks has something he doesn't, which is that Tom Hanks is fantastic at both of those kinds of roles. So in League of Their Own, Jimmy Dugan is exactly that kind of guy, and we really believed him as a horrible coach that's like mean to those girls, but he also gets redeemed. He's the best at redemption. He's like Apollo 13 redemption. And let me see, my last note. Oh, just imagine Tom Hanks standing in the kitchen screaming, "Show me the money." Right? Just imagine it.
I just did, and it made me smile.
And now imagine him doing it in his boxer briefs. That's just a note from me, personally.
All right, Hal, who are you picking?
I'm picking a choice that will improve the film and make it utterly watchable and add a whole nother level to it. I'm talking Molly Ringwald in Pretty Woman. Molly Ringwald, 80s heartthrob, teen idol, brat packer, Molly Ringwald was offered Pretty Woman. She turned it down. But imagine seeing that transformation of this girl from 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, who played this spoiled suburbanite in that coming out role in Pretty Woman. Imagine making that connection, because I would have seen all of those John Hughes movies as a precursor to the prom queen gone bad, falling down the abyss and becoming that prostitute in Pretty Woman. It would have added so much subtext to that film. I mean, imagine the fan fiction, Andy. Those possibilities are endless. But it would have made it much more fun, and it would have made it a more complicated role. Because I thought, Julia Roberts, she sure can smile. She sure can smile. Her smile lights up any room it walks into. But Molly Ringwald, do you remember when Judd Nelson made her crack in The Breakfast Club? Better actress than Julia Roberts, and would have lifted the material.
Wow, okay. Strong start from Hal. Jackie.
Wow, I cannot follow either of those two, but by God, I'm going to pretend I can. Let's do this. I picked Will Smith as Neo for the most basic reason.
From The Matrix, yeah.
From The Matrix. Will Smith turned down the role as Neo, and then obviously they had to find another black man, because heaven forfend, there be two. But I will say this, is that only because Will Smith makes every movie better. Any movie he is in is made better, and The Matrix desperately needs to be better. Oh yeah, a gasp. Anyway, we'll talk about your Jerry Maguire business later. Anyway, but here's the scoop, is that Will Smith is... Keanu Reeves is fine. But Will Smith is more inherently smart. The way the the roles that he could portray come off as smarter, more competent, more possible. Like the possibilities for him to rise up to become this Messiah character are much more likely than Keanu Reeves as Messiah, not so much. Will Smith as Messiah, yes.
Okay, guys, fight it out.
Well, Keanu Reeves was supposed to be not the brightest bulb and not wear it on his sleeve. Will Smith is too cool for to initially become Neo. You need that Keanu Reeves like, whoa, what is going on here as he's having the Matrix revealed to him. I would contend that Will Smith would not make that movie better, make it worse, because you need that innocence of Keanu Reeves becoming this guy and having these secrets revealed to him.
Will Smith would already know the Matrix existed.
Yes.
And by the way, he couldn't save Collateral Beauty.
Oh, and After Earth. Jesus, more like After Birth.
It's not a good
is
one.
what it looked like all over the goddamn place.
I give you points for that one, Hal.
Thank you.
I'm going to need to know that you have been at a live birth for me to believe that.
Yes, my own. Bam! How do you like me now?
I might be in love. But I will say this, is that Will Smith he has portrayed also a maroon. He has portrayed a moron. In Fresh Prince, he went from street smart but dumb. If you could imagine Neo as street smart but dumb Fresh Prince, all of a sudden then has to hold the mantle
That's a
of
whole other
Messiah.
movie.
In the 90s,
It is a whole other movie and a better one.
In the
absolutely
90s,
not.
could we have seen Will Smith as that person, though, and not just Will Smith? Because to me, once Independence Day hit, I've always been a fan, but once Independence Day hit, to me, he's always Will Smith. He's Will Smith in other people's movies.
He's Will Smith the hero.
Okay.
Because of Independence.
Except in Collateral Beauty.
It's
I'm just going to
and
fixate on that.
To Tom Hanks, I've never seen Tom Hanks have that kind of sports agent, slimy, slippery edge that Tom Cruise has. I think Tom Cruise rode that line perfectly.
Yeah, Tom
and
Cruise-
neither of you have presented choices that I feel improve the films, actually make them worse. Molly Ringwald as this character would take it to another level. It would add more layers to this film.
That Julia Roberts was at the time like nobody really knew who she was because Mystic Pizza was only a big deal at my house.
Okay.
And so painting that picture on a blank slate of an actress with someone like Richard Gere, who we've seen in like Officer and a Gentleman and so many other films at that point, it felt really genuine because I kind of didn't know who that smile was attached to that lady. And whereas Molly Ringwald was a name, she was I've always thought that Molly Ringwald is really good at playing what seems to be a version of herself.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't know her, so that could be completely unfair, but she seems like that character in The Breakfast Club because it's been repeated in those John Hughes movies, and I didn't ever see any other kind of depth.
So that makes it even more exciting to me that that she is thrust into this world like somehow the prom queen fell from grace and it didn't work out, and she's forced to feel her way through this role.
This seems like a bit of a porn fantasy for you.
It is. I do wish Molly Ringwald at least did a Skinamax. At least did a. But back to Tom Hanks. You like loving. You said you stated earlier that Tom Hanks you have to, or that role in Jerry Maguire, you have to love him and hate him. When do you hate Tom Hanks, America's dad?
You can hate him a little bit, and that's what Jerry Maguire needs.
I will have to say that the Jerry Maguire movie itself, at no time did I find Jerry Maguire likable, even at the end.
Really?
Yeah, I found him to be a dirtbag.
Not
all
even
the
when
way
he's
through.
making out with Renee Zellweger? That was kind of nice.
Tom Cruise to be handsome the entire film. I found him to be a very handsome gentleman through
Agreed.
all of his through the entire film. The beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, he's an incompetent boob, and then he's a dirtbag, and then at the end, I found Renee Zellweger, who I call Squinty Magoo, by the way, is essentially a doormat at the end where you had me at hello. Well, why don't you look into that? Why don't you spend a little more time on your relationships and find someone who is going to be a little bit of a partner in your life instead of...
I think Jerry
now we're
Maguire
like
ended
just
up being a partner.
deconstructing the movie, but it's
So Tom Hanks in that role.
So imagine that role. Now, slimy Tom Hanks isn't. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Except that, as far as the character,
agents are slimy, except for mine. JR, if you're watching this, I love you, buddy.
But imagine, the heartbreak that Jerry Maguire goes through consistently in the film, Tom Hanks would have given a different dimension to that character as not just a slimy agent, but a heartbroken
But the
man.
worst that Tom Hanks has ever been, I think, has been in League of Their Own. Right? And that is as
And
slimy as he's ever been.
He's like insufferably awful as their
But
coach.
he's like an over-the-top character in that movie. Everyone is kind of playing.
Well,
It's,
he
it's a
won't be
larger
playing
than
that
life.
particular character in Jerry Maguire.
Sure.
It's
I
the
mean,
same neighborhood, however.
No. He played an over-the-hill manager in League of Their Own. And Jerry
Right.
Maguire, he's like the slick power agent. It's two totally different roles. I haven't seen
How interesting.
The rock and roll movie where he played the manager.
Thing You Do,
The Thing You
That
Do.
Thing
The
You Do. Yeah. So
he was also like a mean kind of.
All right.
He can't do mean. He can't do dirtbag. I don't
He
think.
can. He's a great actor. How dare you?
Final thoughts. You've sold me on why yours is great. Why yours is great. Tell me why yours is better than the other two. Why in your closing remarks. Go ahead. Or start with you, Great.
Tom Hanks in Jerry Maguire is a great choice because he has an amazing kind of range. He can actually do anything, and it's a better choice than Molly Ringwald in Pretty Woman because she is Molly Ringwald and always has been, right? Whereas Tom Hanks shifts from role to role and can do different things. Will Smith is also, speaking of handsome, super handsome, knowledgeable Will Smith, whereas Tom Hanks has more notes to hit than him.
Hal, final thoughts?
Molly Ringwald would have made it a more complex, interesting movie to me, judging by her past filmography. Tom Hanks doesn't have the complexity that Tom Cruise brought to that role. That role was tailored and suited to Tom Cruise. And Will Smith would not have brought the awe and wonderment that Keanu Reeves, brought to The Matrix. So Molly Ringwald is the only one that changes the movies for me in a more interesting and constructive way.
Jackie, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Will Smith would have made The Matrix a much smarter science fiction movie because he would have brought with it the naivete that we all have, that we don't know that we're all hooked up to the machine, and then he would have built from there. He starts from a smarter place than Keanu does, and would have been a much better Neo. I will say this, is that Tom Hanks as Jerry Maguire, it would have been a much shorter spectrum. I think he would have made a better nice guy at the end, but I don't think he would have made a better dirtbag in the beginning. And Molly Ringwald in Pretty Woman, you say that you have this vision of her as a good girl gone bad, but I don't know that you know this, but Molly Ringwald played Hedwig on Broadway, and she played a giant dirtbag in that, and it was not attractive. She did a hell of a job, though. Okay.
Dan.
Yeah, so much. People chiming in on Twitter with their thoughts. A lot of people, the one that I saw probably the most would be Sean Connery as Gandalf in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Ooh.
Jonathan
Whoa.
Peck suggested Winona Ryder as Mary Corleone in Godfather 3. Tim Butner would have liked to have seen DiCaprio as Anakin Skywalker.
Oh wow!
Leslie,
That would have been a winner.
Is that possible?
that he was
small.
courted. Ryan Phillippe. There were a number of actors courted for that role. that did
Wow!
not.
Oh, I'm glad Ryan Phillippe didn't do it.
Leslie
nice.
at Real Leslie Gill actually backs Jackie. Says, "Oh my goodness, no joke. I've called Renee Zellweger Squinty McGee for years." So someone
alone.
sharing
Nice.
that nickname. The role of Jerry Maguire was originally written by Cameron Crowe for Tom Hanks. He did pass on the movie to do That Thing You Do, which is what came up in the debate. Will Smith was interviewed about The Matrix. He said that he didn't think he could have played the part the way that Keanu did. One quick fact check. Cuba Gooding Jr. was in the kitchen yelling, "Show me the money." Jerry Maguire was in his office during that scene. And I've been called out on my They Live quote taking, saying that Duke Nukem gets it the way that Hal said it. But I don't care because it comes from They Live, and Duke Nukem got it wrong. Mitchell Boker.
But to fact check your fact check, both of them say "Show me the money."
Both of them say,
They're
"Show me
both
the
yelling.
money."
He's just in the
But
office. and
yeah,
Cuba
but
Gooding
Grace
Jr.'s
said
in the
imagine
kitchen.
Oh, in the
Tom
kitchen.
Hanks
I
in the
got it.
kitchen.
Fair.
I just
Cuba
want to
Gooding Jr.'s
keep-
in the kitchen.
Yes.
I just want to keep a Tom Hanks where he belongs, in the
Yes.
kitchen.
Exactly. Yes. And of course we have the Twitter poll, which is a pretty close poll right now. So I'll let you know
Based
after.
on the arguments, this was tough. This was a little longer because I was trying to hear some points, but I just heard the most out of one of you and the best takedowns, and that was Hal, who I just think Cruise brought a little bit more complexity, and Keanu's sort of not having the innocence that Will Smith had, coupled with a lot of other things, ultimately did it. I think I was close on Will, but I just didn't get enough, and I think that was just your first round jitters a little bit coming out. So, but very good round first out. Hal gets the point. But yeah, you even sort of admitted at one point that he can't play sleazy, so that didn't help. Although I really do want to see Tom Hanks do it too. I would watch all 3 of these versions.
You know what? I said
Earth
I'd like
2.
to see Molly Ringwald in a Skinamax. I'd like to see Tom Hanks in a Skinamax as well.
Yeah.
Oh my God, them together.
Whoa!
Our viewers picked with 44% Will Smith.
Figured.
Yeah, 31% actually voting for Molly Ringwald and Pretty Woman. Only
Oh, wow.
25% voted for Tom Hanks and Jerry
Interesting.
Maguire. So very interesting. Molly Ringwald, by the way, did say that she read his draft of The Pretty Woman and was a big fan of Julia Roberts' performance. So no regrets as far as she's concerned.
That's the lowest approval rating Tom Hanks has ever had. I just want to point out.
All right, question
Sorry.
2. We'd like you to improve any movie. Well, this is because the cast photo came out of Predator, right? We saw some of the cast has Jacob Tremblay and a good
Yeah.
cast. I'm excited for Shane Black's new Predator. We wanted you to improve any movie by making the villain a Predator. So take a movie, and it's going to redo the movie, obviously, if you change the villain out. But how would you improve a movie existed by changing it up with the villain being Predator? Hal, you're up first.
Well, I want to improve a movie that needs to be improved, and that movie that needs improvement is Hangover 2. Okay?
I don't know. How can you fix that?
Look at him.
There we go. Bangkok has them now. But not just Bangkok has them now. A motherfucking predator! You may not be familiar with Thailand. I shot a movie in Thailand for a month and a half called The Lost Medallion. Look it up on Netflix. The Rotten Tomatoes score is probably very, very low. Dan, if you wouldn't mind fact-checking that, thank you, sir.
With delight.
There's a rainforest in Bangkok. Sorry, in Thailand. The predator lays in wait, and then our 4 heroes, because the one guy that's getting married, we ditch for most of those hangover movies. They stumble upon the forest, the rainforest, after that drunken night, and who's waiting to take them down, to tear them asunder? The most skilled hunter in the universe. Then Ed Helms, Bradley Cooper, and Zach Galifianakis have to run, cover themselves with mud, set traps, infight. Man, what a journey that would be. And then Ken Jeong shows up. Insanity.
So wait, what villain is he not taking over Ken Jeong? Because Ken Jeong was the villain in that, right?
Oh, you know
Or
what?
was it Mike Tyson in that one? Who was the villain
No,
in
in
part
the
2?
second one, it would.
Paul Giamatti. Really?
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've
great.
erased it from my memory.
No, he would be a second act addition into the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you
gotta replace a villain, though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then Paul Giamatti. Done.
All right, Jackie, what are you picking?
I picked this. I would actually. I don't usually believe in remakes, but what I would like is Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life to be replaced by the Predator.
Good, still.
That seems
job,
important.
GT.
Good
Yeah.
God, that's
Is that
amazing.
a cosplay photo
That
or,
is an
or a
amazing-
statue?
Yeah. You know who
Toy.
stands up? What? Wait, what movie is that? Look at the. Oh, it's a bust in the background. That is
Yeah.
a
It's his
statue.
office. That's his
That's his
office.
office. I don't think I've ever noticed that bust of Napoleon behind Mr. Potter.
What a great hat.
That is. It's a tricorn. This is my, or nope. Well, you should fact check that because that's probably not a tricorn. Because there's
So the Predator is a banker?
The Predator is a banker. Yes. See, even you are finding there's no defense against this, quite honestly, because the Predator, he could see in the dark. He has an that's why in Pottersville had all those lights, so he could take advantage of people outside of town, right? I mean, Mr. Potter, this would really reveal why Uncle Billy lost that $6,000 because Mr. Potter put on the invisibility cloak and just stole it. So that's how it happened. I mean, you couldn't have seen it coming. Let's defend Uncle Billy here. I don't think you guys understand.
Poor Uncle Billy.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back around. Gray, what movie are you improving by adding a Predator villain?
All right, well, how do you improve a movie that I already really like? And I'll answer you by saying Mean Girls would be better if Regina was a predator. Okay? So check that. Oh, I love it. Check
Is
it
Regina
out.
the Lindsay Lohan?
No, Regina's the middle one in the girls. So Predator. But this is like a weird out of body experience. Look at her. Perhaps this brings up an interesting point because Regina could be projecting the image of a high school girl. Right? But really, we know that she is Predator. And so, alternate names for Regina.
Wait, they can project images in Predator?
No.
Okay. But in this version,
I'm
we
just
are.
going with the
In
image
this movie,
because
okay. Okay.
No. So names: Predagina, alternate, Regeditor. Okay. Go with me and
also Redditor. Redditors, where you at?
So now insert. So take the events of the movie, leave it similar to how it exists, right? But instead of a burn book, Predagina has a skull book of kills instead of a burn book. Oh, right?
Yeah.
Probably could have just kept the burn book.
You could have.
No, Skull Book's cool too.
Except Skull Book of Kills is way cooler to say. And then so Predagina's evil sidekicks keep trying to make fetch his soul happen. And it's not going to happen, right? Now, when you consider Predagina's only natural enemy in this whole scenario, it's Katie, right? Katie is the only one that has come prepared to take down Predagina. And she spent a lot of time in Africa, so she knows how to fight. She's been fighting off wildlife. She's got everything that it takes to take this woman down, right? And Tina Fey's character, like, you know how she's a pusher, Katie. She's going to push on Predagina. She's going to help Katie, and the whole high school system's going to fall apart. Predagina's going down. It's all because of Lindsay Lohan.
All right. 3 interesting choices here. You all get points for funny. Now, really sell me on why it's better than the other two. Go
I
ahead.
just want to say that the question is improve any movie by making the villain a predator. That's what we were told. And Mean Girls has 84% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, using them against her.
It's a Wonderful Life has 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. The Hangover 2, it's a 33% shit show. Okay? It needs improvement. Those two... Adding the Predator to these classics would turn them into like nonsense gobbledygook. Putting it in The Hangover would end that franchise where it should have, because let's never speak of Hangover 3 again.
No, ever.
Yeah.
No.
Putting the Predator in Hangover 2 would improve that movie. It would make it different
stop
from the first one.
making it a Hangover movie, though.
No, it would still be a Hangover movie.
No.
Here's the thing about The Hangover.
When you add in a crazy monster that's killing people and all that, I mean,
Was he
then-
drunk?
I'm
Was he
glad.
drunk?
I'm glad.
Was the Predator drunk?
Imagine you wake up after a maniac night of partying, and what is on your ass? A goddamn outer space monster hunter? What? That is the Hangover movie we need.
How is it possible that description just turned into like so many different horror movies that I've already seen? though?
Great. You know what? But with that caliber of actors, with that caliber of comedians, here's the thing. The Hangover 2 was just a rehash of the first one,
Right.
but in Thailand. Add the Predator into it, man.
And it becomes every other movie just a sequel.
Name one.
Like any Jason movie, you know what I mean? Like people partying, kids
No.
making out, and a killer shows up.
Those
that's
three,
pretty common.
with that level of comedy, fighting the Predator, that's a movie like none like we've ever seen before.
I mean, they've discouraged me from thinking that they have any level of comedy after watching The Hangover 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just a note, but I don't think that that's also not that level of comedy isn't what I want in my Predator movie either. I think it's been proven a lot that anytime that we try to make an action movie funny,
You
it's
chose a
very
comedy.
few-
You chose a dark comedy.
But I chose a comedy.
Yes, she just said it.
I chose a comedy, but what happens when you add Predator in is it takes it to this completely bonkers level. Like one of my favorite movies is
you're
Glitter,
making my
right?
argument for me.
Hal, let her speak. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
Wrap up your thoughts. Yeah, how is Mean Girls different than Hangover 2?
Oh, this turns it into almost like an art house, like a performance art concept, right? This makes it an even bigger, more powerful metaphor for high school.
Okay. Let's get Jackie in this fight. Thoughts?
My thoughts is, those are both interesting thoughts, you guys. And you pick your light comedies and you add the Predator to it. I'm talking about the future of the banking industry, the future of I don't know, Potter's Fields, and aren't those yokels making with the comments? Let me tell you something. Is the greatest thing about making Mr. Potter into the Predator is because the battle to destroy the Predator restores the Hays Code. It's very important politically and emotionally to bring the Hays Code, because Mr. Potter is the only villain in the history of the history of the Hays Code that ever got away with it. He got to keep that $6,000. He never suffered because of it.
I will say one other strike against this choice, Jackie, is that you just effing ruined Christmas. You ruined Christmas! Oh, God, what a nightmare.
I don't think so.
Predator shows up at Christmas.
Yeah,
How did you
sure.
not ruin Christmas? Go ahead.
I don't understand how bringing to justice the devil, Lucifer, would ruin Christmas. How is the fact that
I'll tell you why. My mom and grandma are not going to want to watch that garbage.
well,
That's true.
it's not my fault.
All right. I heard enough.
I think
Dan?
so.
Yes. Well, Sai at Hiddlesy says on Twitter, "I'm from Thailand, and I can assure you we do have predators in the rainforest." So apparently, James White suggested John Wick with the Predator. Nolan Dean suggested Breakfast Club with the Predator. Suddenly, it becomes a coming-of-age survival horror movie. For the record, Regina is Rachel McAdams' character in Mean Girls, and Hal, you referred to The Hangover Part 2 as a 33% shit show. The Lost Medallion currently is 33% fresh.
Hey, 33%.
One out of three. There are 3 reviews.
Only 3.
The one from Common Sense Media says that it is and I quote I want to pull up the direct quote. Formulaic adventure film for kids is fun but a little scary.
Okay.
So, and the audience rating is just over half. It's at 51%. So
I gotta watch that.
Critics and audiences disagree again. Who knew?
Yeah, who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah.
The question says improve a movie by making the villain a predator. I think Hal did that. The other 2 would be a lot tougher. I got to give Hal the point. But very funny answers.
Somebody's running away with this contest.
Oh, he never.
It is a
doesn't
very
always
close
keep-
vote on Twitter.
What was the vote on Twitter?
Currently, 43% vote for The Hangover 2, 38% Mean Girls, 19% It's a Wonderful Life.
Wow.
Every time a bell
Maybe you're
rings,
right.
a machine gun gets its wings.
All right, this is for all the marbles now because this is a big one. This came from Josh Torek 1 on Twitter. In honor of the Lego Batman movie, which came out, and news of the Batman being directed by Matt Reeves. Batman's still obviously big and in the news, but we want to look back, including Lego Batman, and before it, what is the best Batman movie? We're going to you first, Jackie. What is the best Batman movie?
You've chosen wisely to go to me first. Let me just say that the best one is the Michael Keaton Batman movie. Michael Keaton did Batman. He took the Batman franchise television show and made it more serious, yet kept the heart of it. Jack Nicholson as the Joker. Scary, not I can't go to sleep scary, just scary. So it is... And it also, at the end of it, I will say this, is that when we see Michael Keaton in Birdman, and we look back and we see that there was a reason he played Batman. It was because he is the real Batman. That's why. That's how we know. That's all I've got.
Okay, we'll come back for more. Gray?
The defense rests. I'm going to say the best Batman movie is Lego Batman. By far, now, I'm a big Nolan Batman fan, but I'll tell you that I thought those were the best ones until I walked out of Lego Batman, because when you break it down, Batman is a really troubled character and is basically a complete psychopath with unlimited funds. And so do we like dark Batman? Yes, except that one of the biggest parts of that character is the constant emotional journey that the character is going through. And one of the best ways or the best way I've ever seen it brought out is by juxtaposing that journey with his dark emotional side when he's isolated, when he doesn't trust anybody, with humor. And Lego Batman is super funny. It makes those emotional moments that are darker much more poignant, much more memorable, and the character arc is spectacular. And this is one of those movies that everybody watches and they learn a little bit about themselves and everyone else. I love the portrayal of Robin in the movie. It felt a lot like when Avengers 2 brought Spider-Man out. It finally felt appropriate for that character, and I thought that Lego Batman by far was the best Batman because it is an emotionally effective way to access that character.
All right, Hal?
Andy, I'm going to bring in a friend to do this argument for me. Hold on 1 second.
Is that allowed?
Let's see. Let's see what happens.
Oh, wait a
What's
minute.
happening?
He's turned around in a comedic move.
Wait, where did he go?
What's going to happen? Is he going to
Peekaboo.
become something?
Is he going to... Oh, wow, this is great.
Hello, Andy.
Oh, hi, Batman?
Jackie.
Where did Hal go? Batman knows my name!
Whoa.
I'm a fan of Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, pleasure.
I'm a fan of Dork Forest.
Thank you, Batman.
Listen, Batman Begins is the greatest Batman film of all time. For a number of reasons. It's the best origin story of Batman ever committed to film, and there have been many. Many people ask me, Batman, how are you able to compete in a world of supervillains and superheroes? Batman Begins has the sequence where I trained with the League of Shadows, where I trained under the tutelage of Ra's al Ghul, one of the best Batman sequences in history. That tells you in no uncertain terms that Batman is a ninja. Never forget that. It was directed by Christopher Nolan, one of the great directors working today. It has one of the most stellar casts of character actors and great cinema thespians ever. Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, Gary Oldman. And it juggles two villains brilliantly. It is my best story.
Oh, wow. So Batman, you are endorsing Batman Begins as
Yes,
the
I
best
am.
story.
That's huge.
Okay. For those listening on iTunes, this is Batman with the cowl. But it looks a little bit like Hal Rudnick, but I don't know.
I've always thought Hal looked like Batman.
Hal
It
has
was a
a
little
strong
eerie.
jaw.
Hal does have a good, strong jaw. All right. Well, there we heard from Batman. Hal brought in a friend. Batman's here to argue Batman Begins. That's going to be tough to beat.
I don't
from
think so.
Batman, but prove me wrong. Go ahead.
Here we go. It's I think you dug your own hole there, Batman. Let me just tell you that.
How so?
It's that the real reason that the original 89 Batman is the best is because, and I think that Gray also revealed this as well, is the fact that Michael Keaton pulls forth the only idea that I've loved about Batman is that Batman is the only adult in Gotham City. His superpower is not that he is super strength, it's that he has a great deal of money and that he is the only adult. When bad things are happening, he turns to Robin and says, well, that's not okay. We should go fix that. And Michael Keaton does that.
He's not the only adult. He needs the adult of Alfred in his life because he's lost his parents. We've seen how vulnerable he is time and time again. Also, we're not going to
Batman,
be
you've got a
yourself.
little, wait, you've got a little bat shit, Batman.
Talking about Batman.
in that movie. I need Alfred. I need Alfred. Listen,
You're losing your tenses.
I will also tell you, Michael Keaton's. We're not debating who was the best Batman. We're debating the best Batman movie, and that movie doesn't. Some of it is just a little too campy and doesn't quite hold up.
I think that
I said it.
The stunts in the '89 Batman are really adorably similar to the Adam West version of Batman. Actually, when you watch it, it's like Michael Keaton's 5 feet away from someone and they fly back into a tin can of some kind. And so I actually watched it and thought, aren't more viewers more sophisticated now? Now, Chris
Let me
Nolan,
compare the action. It's like Comic Sans versus Courier New. Continue.
I'm so glad you took the time to do that.
Is
Batman
huge on typography.
It's
Checking out your
fonts.
junk, Batman?
No, I was.
Fonts are important. I also think about
Trying
the
to remember
legacy
where I
of
parked the
Batman.
Batmobile.
This is an
It's an important fight. The legacy of Batman. Michael Keaton's the only one who could play Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. He was the only one who could play old Batman.
I disagree. We just saw Ben Affleck play an old Batman. We saw Christian Bale play a tired, aging Batman in the last film.
And Lego Batman is fatigued.
Here's why Lego Batman is not the best Batman movie. Lego Batman is a send-up on Batman. If I was a Batman fan, which I am because I am Batman, but if I was a Batman fan, I would be overwhelmed by so much that's going on in the movie. There's so many different villains. There are more references in that than watching 2 hours of Family Guy. It is not the epitome of a Batman movie. It's a reference-heavy, fun romp.
That's what's fascinating about the film is that it manages. You were mentioning that Batman Begins juggles two villains really well, and Lego Batman actually juggles way more than that really well.
It's got 90 villains.
It does.
In it.
91, I think, actually was the final count. Yes.
And I was wondering, where did the Kraken go? Did they ever find the Kraken?
Well, you're Batman. You should know.
Well.
You mean the Kraggle from Lego Movie?
No, there was a Kraken.
And there wasn't Batman?
There was a Kraken in the water. He was the one that shot that thing in the Eye of Sauron.
Thing, yeah,
and a whole bunch of Warner Brothers licensed properties as well. And so so Batman Begins in the Nolan version is the emotional journey isn't as strong as it is when it's combined with the humor of Batman, like Lego Batman. Oh no, Batman's
Don't
crying.
tell me about my emotional
he's milking
journey.
the goodwill of the
Lego.
I get it.
Lego Batman manages to juggle like the fun of the Adam West version, but also the really seriousness of the Nolan versions, and it ends up being a much more satisfying experience for that reason.
There is a seriousness. There's a great darkness in the Nolan versions.
Yeah.
But Christian Bale also brings a wry timing and sense of humor, along with Michael Caine. I am proud of Batman Begins. Plus, it
Batman checking his notes is my favorite thing.
Listen, when you take as many blows to the head as I have.
And P.S., the version of the Joker in the Lego Batman is every bit as effective as Jack Nicholson's iconic take on it, and it minus any delightful Prince dance-alongs.
This movie showed Batman.
I need to hear more from Jackie. Tell me
Well-
more why yours is better than these two.
Well, I just I might I might be falling apart over here on my Batman knowledge. My Batman knowledge. First of all, I am not Batman. That I think
Yes,
has
it's
been
hard to debate
established.
against Batman.
It's hard to debate against Batman
Who
about
is?
Batman, but I will say this: is that the Nolan version, while compelling, the first Nolan Batman was compelling, and it had a pretty good arc. It was almost completely cheerless. You are incorrect in thinking that there is any wry sense. Michael Caine couldn't make that movie funny, and so I would say that Batman, the Lego Batman, has a better chance of bringing more heart to Batman, because the greatest thing about Batman, of course, is the heart to it, and the fact that he isn't just a loner who is a vigilante who is not willing to kill and keeps putting people in an asylum that they keep escaping from, but there's the fact that he gives back to society, and I think that the Michael Keaton one shows more that he cares about his community and he cares about the community as a whole more than the Nolan one.
Is it because he tries to pick up on Kim Basinger at a charity ball?
I think Vicky Vale has a good chance.
Final thoughts, Gray? And then Batman, you want to check with Hal? Do you want to give the final thoughts, or is Hal doing it?
I'll give the final
Okay,
thoughts.
great. Gray's first. Go ahead.
Actually, pointing to another take on Alfred by the great, also British, now butler, Ray Fiennes in that film. He's sort of the moral compass for Batman, and I thought that in Lego Batman, their play off each other was absolutely spectacular. Once again, giving that beginning, middle, end feeling to Lego Batman. The fact that it took all the wonder, it cherry picked all the great things from all the different versions of Batman, and it managed to make them into a really entertaining and emotionally compelling hour and a half, couple hours.
Batman?
If I wasn't familiar with the source material, I would be very confused by
Luckily,
the Lego.
you're very familiar with the source
Yes,
material.
I would be very confused by the Lego movie and what is part of the Batman universe and what isn't. But Batman Begins is actually the truest to the source material. You say it's a dark, desolate place. It is. Batman's world is dark and desolate. I lost my parents outside of a movie theater.
We know. We get
I
it.
was a
Get
little
over it.
kid.
Jesus. I've
This is the
seen it.
best telling of my story, the best training sequences, the best juggling of villains, the best cast, Christopher Nolan. This is Batman's best vehicle.
Well, thank you, Batman. Thank all of you. Dan.
Yes. Well, just quickly, there was reference to Spider-Man being introduced in Avengers 2. He's actually introduced in Captain America: Civil War.
Oh, right.
Batman, you're right. You've taken a few blows to the head because Batman left. Well, Hal, if you can,
Oh, thank
tell
God.
Batman next time you see him
Yeah.
that that version of Batman actually did not lose his parents outside of a movie theater. He lost his parents outside of an opera house. The Tim Burton Batman lost his parents outside of
Right,
a
and
movie
then
theater.
Lego Batman lost it on Crime Street, right?
Yeah, on Crime Street. Online, obviously, a lot of people scratching their heads or, a little surprised that The Dark Knight was not included in these three. But
Joker movie.
Yeah.
there's a large contingent of people arguing for Batman: Mask of the Phantasm,
Yep.
which was the
I'd
movie
put
for
that-
Batman the Animated Series.
That was great.
One of my personal favorites as a Bat fan as well. So there you go.
I was shocked no one picked Dark Knight, but I would have argued it's a Joker movie. Anyway, but yeah, well, maybe we'll have to do a rematch and bring those back in. Based on this fight, though, Jackie, your Batman knowledge didn't help there at the end, and then you admitted it.
It will
Told
not.
you don't do that, yeah. But good effort. It came down between Batman and Gray. And Gray really listed out a lot of really strong things, and I think Hal got a little lost in the bit, so I got to give Gray the point.
I'm sorry. Did I just win in a fight against Batman?
It was
my God.
Batman. It's really weird
That's
when you
gotta go
see
on your
Batman.
resume.
It's really obvious when he doesn't shave. Like stubble on Batman is very noticeable. I've never noticed that until today.
Do you know why he does it? Scarecrow hates it when he doesn't shave. That's why he does it.
You gotta keep a nice
also
clean
knows
chin
about
to be
Smilex,
Batman, which is
you
why
guys.
every day.
Every day, clean shaven.
Just ask Val Kilmer. Yeah.
All right, round 4. This one comes in from Lindsay Pank. The Purge 4 was announced. Yeah! Woo! Still purging,
The
guys.
sequel we've been waiting for.
Still purging after all these years.
So we thought we'd have something fun. We have 3 funny people here today. What movie character would you most want with you on Purge night? We're back to you, Gray.
I chose Bronson, as played by Tom Hardy in the great Nicholas Winding Refn film Bronson, because the primary objective when I'm purging is to pair up with somebody who's tougher than me, who has little to no moral scruples. Now, saying that Bronson has little moral scruples is actually super generous, but the thing is, Bronson, he acts like the Purge is already a real thing that's already going. Okay, so Purge is not any different to this character at all, who, like, he, his tried to strangle a guy with socks. He's incredibly resourceful. He takes whatever is around him, right? And that's exactly what you need on the Purge, because the best laid plans always fail during the Purge. And you might have, you're going to hit up a house, but all of a sudden that family has, oh no, there's barbed wire somewhere, etc. And you need to be resourceful in order to properly purge. Bronson is Britain's most violent prisoner. And although, Britain kind of takes him down a notch, I still think that nobody is as inherently angry and internally violent as the British. And that's why we had to escape them all those years ago. Okay? So...
Ooh, someone got political.
Yeah, and you know what else? The best part about Bronson, when he's helping you out in the Purge, he will go to absolutely any lengths to accomplish his very, very intense goals, including get naked, coat himself in petroleum jelly. You just won the Purge. Case closed. We're done.
All right. It's going to be hard to beat. That's fair.
And your skin is really soft.
Yeah,
also.
For real. Hal, who are you taking with you on the Purge?
First off, let me apologize to our fans in the UK. Now,
I don't apologize.
What do I want to do? What do I want to do on the night of the Purge? I want to survive. Who is going to help me to survive? Gandalf. Okay? Okay, so you're running on the Purge. You're up all night, just running from here to there. Gandalf's cardio is on point. You see how far he walked? Do you see how far he walked? And not in 2 trilogies. I want a mileage count on how much he walked in those 2 trilogies. Also, he can create a force field around you. He's going to keep you safe. In addition, the Purge is a treacherous journey. It's a treacherous night. There's no more treacherous journey than the journey to Mordor, and Gandalf safely got the Fellowship there. In addition to that, he knows when trouble's coming. He's prescient. He can, sense, don't go there, let's go in this direction. You need that all Purge long. It's Gandalf, Gandalf, Gandalf. White or gray, give me either. I'm going with Gandalf on the Purge.
Okay, Jackie?
Wow. Okay, first of all, the fact-checking on all of that is going to just fall apart if anyone's read the books.
Yeah, please.
I'll be over here being a
Movie
dork.
character.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so... well, you guys will be happy to know that I'll be bringing Tarzan. That's right. I'll be bringing Tarzan with me. Purge night, me and Johnny Weissmiller. Couple of reasons. First of all... downtime. Who doesn't want to be with Johnny Weissmiller? That's good times for me. That's good times. Me and Johnny Weissmiller. He's got a loincloth. I enjoy some action. So we will just, that'll be fun. But here's the thing. You said it great. You got to be someone tougher than me. Someone who can essentially just be a meat shield when it comes down to it.
Meat shield.
That guy will throw himself in front of anybody to help him. That's because he's Tarzan. He's king of the jungle. And you say to yourself, is he going to be in town? Is he going to be in town when you need him during the Purge? But remember, Tarzan was in New York for a long time. So he spent time in New York. I believe at one time Tarzan ran for Congress. And the good thing about Tarzan is that he could pass laws that there'd be no more Purge. Because I don't know if you know about the lawmaking. The legal mind of Tarzan is underrated. People do not understand. All they remember is no guns in Tarzan country. That's all they remember. And just think, extrapolating off of no guns in Tarzan country, how we could end the Purge. And I am a huge fan of ending the Purge because, what I don't enjoy? Anarchy. I don't like it. And you were talking about how different terrain has to be navigated when you're going around, when you're driven. We're not just going to stay in the apartment and do it all night long for 12 hours. I would prefer to, but I'm sure we'll be attacked because it's the Purge. Mm-hmm. Well, Tarzan's got tracking skills. He can swing from different, he can, and, he's very strong. He can swim. He can wrestle alligators. This guy's going to protect me, and he's going to get us through that night better than anybody.
All right, guys.
What are you going to do when 10 guys with machine guns open fire on Tarzan and or Bronson?
What are you going to do when Gandalf walks off to go deal with other elves?
Slides
he's not even going to be there when you need Gandalf.
Either of your guys
I'll
would be
right back. That's your whole thing.
No, that's Arnold
Gandalf's gonna
Schwarzenegger.
help me out. He's gonna say, no, you guys are you're the heroes now. I'll be right back. And then he's got to come back.
He made sure Frodo got to Mordor safely. He'll make
He
sure.
did not have anything to do with Frodo going to Mordor.
Gandalf got thrown
Samwise,
off a ledge.
He didn't even come back until the third movie. I don't even think you understand. He was with the Ents. That's where he showed up. Anyway.
When he
Gandalf guided them.
When Gandalf reemerges, I got the distinct impression that he had just been hanging out in some village having a coffee.
You know
Right.
what?
That's exactly
I'll
what
give
he
the
was
guy a
doing.
little bit of leeway because he told that Balrog that, you know what? You're not going to pass. Okay? He was like,
I don't think that's a direct quote. Fact check.
Time out, Balrog. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, he spent his time fighting a Balrog while everybody else had to try to figure out how to get to Mordor when they're 3 feet tall.
No, here's the thing. You don't
Gandalf gave them the game plan.
The question. So you said what are you going to do when 10 guys with machine guns open fire on real humans? But the thing
Yes.
is that real people survive the purge in the movies all the time, right? So the answer is that Bronson, already oiled up, will find a way to slide over to at least one of those guys, so get their weapon, and take the rest of them out. Because again, no
That's a
moral
nice
fiber
fantasy,
at all
but I'd rather
whatsoever.
spend the purge with Bronson Pinchot. At least I'd laugh. Here's the
Oh
thing.
my God, you want to be Larry?
Yes, I want to be perfect strangers during the purge.
wow.
But tonight I'm going to be with Gandalf. Tonight I'm with Gandalf, and he will guide me safely. That's what he does.
You know what,
he guides-
Gandalf, let me tell you one of the worst cop-outs of Lord of the Rings. That is the moment where Gandalf calls on the GD Eagles. That was such crap. It was like
Over and
if-
over again, he's calling on
Have
the Eagles.
the Eagles fly you to Mordor, genius. I know there are a whole bunch of rules about where
Yes, there
Eagles can
are
carry
rules.
you, but come on, Gandalf.
You can't just play fast and loose with the Eagles. Here's the thing. Why would you choose
Fast and
Bronson
loose.
over like Jason Bourne or someone who's got the highest military?
Come on, Jason Bourne is
Bronson's-
a choir boy.
Bronson's a wild card. He will leave you at the drop of a hat.
No,
he
he's a
won't.
wild card.
I'm going to ask
Yeah.
that. What do you want to do in your purge?
She wants to make love to Tarzan. She said it herself.
And I am not wrong. I don't
I
think
mean,
I don't
unless
think the
you're-
people
You are
understand.
very.
Are
Here's
any
the
of
thing.
you doing crimes on your purge? That'll help me understand why your choices.
I want to indiscriminately murder
Okay.
on my
so
purge.
And you're admitting it.
And
so
that's
you
your-
want someone
that's
who's
your
going to
crime
have
of
you
choice.
back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Hal?
I'm a lady. Bronson was married a couple few times.
Okay, great. Hal?
I'm going all Frank Grillo, and I'm going to save people. And you know who's going to help me save people? the good guy Gandalf.
With his
Oh my
eagles.
God.
Jackie,
Gandalf
what
is
is your
not.
goal in the purge?
Entirely to protect people and
You want to bow down. You want to.
and I also want to get with Tarzan.
Yeah.
But these are
There
things.
are no
You're-
vines
here's
in
the
the
thing.
city.
You're-
Tarzan
Hold
is
on,
useless.
let her finish. Yes, so
Yeah.
getting with Tarzan and saving people.
Right. So Tarzan, because the thing is we're not. It's gonna be a one night stand. We're not gonna be able to have a future together. So we're gonna have to do it. But eventually we're gonna be interrupted because it's a movie, right? And so we're gonna be taken into like the local Target or Walmart, and we're gonna have to start protecting people. And Tarzan, he can make things out of nothing. He can make vines out of found rope. He can. I mean, there's. That guy.
Can he make a gun out
There-
of guns?
He doesn't need to make guns out of guns because there are no guns in Tarzan country. He can beat anybody
There are
with
also
just a
no
knife.
vines. What is he going to swing?
That's what Gray just said. That.
Yeah,
What,
how's he
how
gonna
did
do-
you
He's
miss
not.
that part?
He's
You know,
useless. He's
also,
useless.
there are two things I'm not going to do on Purge night: make a poop because they're very vulnerable, and make sex because you're also going to be very vulnerable. I'm not going to
He
make
can
a
make-
poop
by the
or
way,
make
Tarzan
sex.
It
can
gets your
make sex out of
testos-
anything.
It gets your
That's
testosterone going, though.
What? Making a poop?
I don't know. You tell me, Hal.
No. That's why boxers don't have sex like 2 days before their boxing match. They got to keep that
I think you saw Heaven
testosterone
Can Wait, and you thought
pent
about
up.
that. I have other references from the late 70s.
You can have your old guy with a staff. I'm going to take my hot young guy that likes to strangle people with socks.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my. Oh,
All right. I mean, I got my ruling.
all right.
Dan?
Yes, well, there is a lot of Gandalf fact-checking to be done. Gandalf departed the Fellowship. He fell to the Balrog at the Bridge of Khazad-dûm in the Mines of Moria. He was reborn. He came back and he helped at the Battle of Helm's Deep. He helped at the Gates of Moria, but he was not reunited with Frodo and Sam. until after they had destroyed the ring.
With the Eagles.
He saved them with the Eagles. Now, there are lots of... there are the question about why didn't the Eagles fly them to Mordor. The main question is that this had to be a secret mission and that the Eagles would have easily been detected and they would have been captured by Sauron. The other thing is that, yes, the Eagles have rules about interfering in the warfare of men. I do want to fact check, though, something that is actually a positive thing. The force fields thing.
Yeah.
How I thought that this was not true. I thought, like, the force field thing, I went back, I reviewed the scene against the Balrog, and if you want to zoom in on this, Gandalf does indeed employ what appears to be a kind of force field when he fights the Balrog. So I'm going to go ahead and say that the force field point is not out of bounds. All right. I can say that appears to be within his capabilities. I myself was also very skeptical, but I'm going to say that judging by the movies, by the movies, he has something that appears to be a spherical force field protecting him. So I gotta say that Hal was not out of line by suggesting that.
I think only one of you was probably the most honest, and that was Gray, admitting she wants to go kill people, and brought someone else for having the balls to admit that. On Purge night, you brought someone who's going to really help you. That I think Gandalf will walk off, and I think Jackie just wanted to have sex with Tarzan. So, based on those whole answers, I got to give Gray the point. Probably not the best night to have sex with Tarzan.
Oh, you don't know what gets me off, do you?
Fair enough.
There you go.
I don't. All right, so that's two. All right.
You said it was consensual. What? No.
Well, if you had said that in the time, maybe.
Yes.
You're just taking. Not that I'm condoning that, but under the Purge laws.
None of us are.
Okay, round 5. This point, so Jackie, sadly you can't not enough time to get here, but
and
you can still get a point for bragging rights here. Gray and Hal, you have 2 points, so you're in the finals, but let's see if you get an extra point going in. This is question 5. John Wick 2, fantastic film, doing really well. Director Chad Stehelski is very popular now. He's talking about doing Highlander, is what the rumor is. But we want to ask you, now off of the success of John Wick Chapters 1 and 2, what franchise should he take on next? We're going to you, Hal.
The franchise that Chad should take on next is Suicide Squad, okay? And for a few reasons. One of the beautiful things about John Wick was the simplicity of it. It's about a guy whose dog gets killed, and now he is out for revenge, and he kicks major ass. We need a DC film with that kind of just straightforward, ass-kicking simplicity. And that's what he has. Also, along for that ride with the ass kicking and like the simple, straightforward storytelling, he also did some incredible world building. John Wick created this like world of assassins and ne'er-do-wells and criminals and thieves, and that is somewhat similar to the kind of like rogues gallery coming together in Suicide Squad. And I would love to see that kind of straightforward, simple world building in a DC film. That would be refreshing because there's a lot to like about recent DC efforts, but there's also some flawed storytelling, I thought. And this guy took us into a world that we had never seen before. Now, twice that we've seen this world, and we feel like we know it. It makes sense to us. Ian McShane's hotel and everything. I would love to see that kind of storytelling applied to Suicide Squad.
Jackie?
Okay, I picked The Matrix again, just because I want to fix The Matrix. Partially is I love the idea of the Matrix, though I'm not a huge fan of a Messiah story. But Chad, what's his face?
Stehelski, yep.
Thank you. I do a lot. I'm in the part of show business that doesn't know how to pronounce anyone's name. So he's already directed Keanu. So I think that he could fix, if there were 3 more Matrix movies, he could fix the Matrix movies. Just because it could be, there's operatic violence that happens in John Wick that could also just, like, it was beautiful. And that is what the Matrix should and can be. It's a use of our mind's eye and our imagination. And what he did with John Wick was so imaginative and so as my debater has stated, Hal, is there was world building, but I think that could be better used to fix the world of the Matrix, because we all feel so powerless, and to create a Matrix in which gives the power back to a person. I would also like him to fix that it's not just one guy. And I think that a lot of people had a lot of different power in John Wick, and everyone was an individual. There was an ensemble cast in the original Matrix that had one Messiah character. In John Wick, it was more of an ensemble character, even though John Wick was obviously the main character. But that is why it'll be great. And yeah.
Great.
Chad Stehelski should take over. Well, and in an alternate universe where this is still possible because of news that we mentioned at the top of the show, Chad Stehelski should take over Batman. Oh. And being so Hal mentioned like that, you know, he's great with action, right? So that's what we know about John Wick. But when he gets a great script, which is, by the way, what we desperately need for a lot of DC movies, and especially the Batman franchise at this point where we've seemed to reach a pinnacle, we need some new life injected into the franchise in a way that we haven't seen it before. And so what Chad Stehelski really brought to John Wick, which was a simple, elegant, tight story, if we could do that same thing for Batman, what it would do is inject a lot of action and a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of style into a world where a lot of rules already exist. So the two run kind of parallel. And I think essentially the action in a Chad Stehelski movie tends to become a character in and of itself. And that's what I'd really like to see in a Batman movie going forward, because like we had a great solid argument about what has already been the best Batman movie, and we need something new. And I think that that's what he's going to bring to it, is a lot of action in a world where rules already exist.
All right, fight it out, guys.
Well, first off, I don't think The Matrix would be the right franchise, because the visual storytelling and the CGI required for Matrix and how much of it takes place in that realm, I mean, that was like a Wachowski. That is their kind of like stock and trade. The Wachowski siblings, like they telling stories using that style, that kind of visuality. That I mean, every movie they do practically that's the stock and trade. So bringing in this guy who's directed a sleek, simple film to do The Matrix, I don't know, that just doesn't compute to me. Also, The Matrix, it died a horrible death. I don't think anyone's asking for The Matrix to come back.
But I think that the Matrix could come back, and you know there because of that simplicity, he could bring that, and the people who do the other who do all the CGI and all the special effects, there are teams of people who he can get to work with him on that. That his vision is not to be used with that separate world; it's to be used with the storyline, in my opinion.
You know, with Suicide Squad, I feel like the presentation of that world is vast, with a lot of characters. And I don't think that that's something that Chad Stehelski would really benefit from. I think that he benefits much more from really tight, focused pieces. And that's something that you would see in Batman, because it's Batman versus a villain. It's, you know, and even juggling on one, max two villains, you would keep it tight. And I think that that's where he's really strong. I think Suicide Squad is too overwhelming a project. I don't think that it would keep that Chad Stehelski power if he did Suicide Squad.
I disagree. There were sumptuous characters throughout these films. Ian McShane, Common, Ruby Rose. Like, these were fun characters to watch and see them do battle. Even if we just got to see them for a moment, that we really got a sense of who these characters were. Whereas in Batman, we don't need the kind of heavy lifting of the world building. We know Batman's world. We know that, like, the Batman origin story.
Exactly. So with the right script, we he would take it to another level.
His services would be better used on Suicide Squad, because Suicide Squad is a world that we're still getting used to, seeing these characters. What's the rule of this world? What's the who's in charge? What laws do they abide by? We know that he presented these laws of Ian McShane and this underworld hotel, and you know what? After we get it, he showed us these
clean up the Matrix so well. I really do think that he could, if he redid the Matrix, he could clean it up and get rid of a lot of extraneous just plot points that didn't make any sense, and he could bring some heart into it that would simplify it. But yeah, I think that him doing Batman, it might be too easy for him. Like, I think that oh, there we go. Nice delay, nice satellite delay on the gasp. It's but I think because I like the idea of him bringing this sensibility to Batman, but I think that it might be a waste of his work. It might be a waste of his powers.
I want to see.
Grant, go ahead.
Let's not bring the Matrix back. We've said everything that needs to be said about the Matrix, and it became apparent in movies 2 and 3 that they had run out of things to say, and were very blatantly asked to stretch this into a money-making venture, which is something that kept happening in movie history, like in young adult novels that were split into 2, etc. It's just a money grab. There's nothing more to say about The Matrix, and it's so iconic that we're not going to reboot The Matrix. And we're not going to do it with him. I think that he would be much better served in a franchise that continues to live, that needs energy, that needs a new injection of style. And that's Batman in spades.
Final thoughts?
It should absolutely be Suicide Squad, because he told a story about a wretched hive of scum and villainy in John Wick, and let's take that. That's what you have with Suicide Squad. You have a world that where the rules are different, its own set of rules, which he did in John Wick, and now he could create this own set of rules with Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Boomerang, and make it make sense in a straightforward, simple story.
Final thoughts?
My problem with Suicide Squad is that I would like
everything?
Almost everything. I wanted them to make a Secret Six movie, but they did not. So Suicide Squad, it couldn't hurt to get this guy involved in almost any project, because he does a really good job with action, with violence, and with streamlining and with world building. All of these things are great. So if you pointed him at anything as I would just like him. He could take The Matrix and make it into one movie, right? He could take all 3 of those scripts and just make it into one great movie. Wouldn't that be great? How fun would that be, you guys? One really good Matrix movie instead of 3. All right.
I'll tell you what I think after Dan chimes in. Dan.
Well, Chad Stehelski, no stranger to the Matrix movies. He was the martial arts stunt coordinator on Matrix 2 and 3. Keanu's stunt double for all 3 Matrix movies. That's kind of how he got hooked up with him in the first place to do John Wick. A lot of great suggestions on Twitter. Jeremy Hastings suggests Expendables 4. Dan Brown thinks that a James Bond franchise movie would be great. Paul Blythe suggesting Dread 2. And Ben Abramowitz Bourne, just to get the franchise away from all the shaky cam. And I'm looking at the Twitter poll, and it's there's a favorite on Twitter, but I'll let you know after you make.
I think it's not a pity point. I think Jackie did a really good job of selling us of why we need to fix the Matrix. Jackie gets the point. Congrats.
It feels like a pity point, but I'll take
it's
it.
Not.
I'm doing it.
Can we can we just beg Chad Stehelski to help DC, period?
Well, yeah, do we really want him to touch Suicide Squad? It's like...
I think he'd make it fun.
Yeah, have him to try a new DC property.
Wonder Woman looks amazing, by the way.
Did you guys? So.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Crossed, man.
Yep, fingers crossed.
All right. Well, there we go. Jackie, you are on the board.
I'm on the board.
Fantastic job today. Thank you for doing the show. Now you're still in this. You will now help me judge these 2 in the speed round.
I'm good at judging.
Good. So pay attention. You're going to help me listen to their arguments. It's based on the arguments as always. Patrick and Dan, obviously, going to come to you guys as well. We're going to do this now. We have 5 speed round questions. You guys have done this. You know this works. Chance for 5 additional points. You'll have 20 seconds at first and then 10-second rebuttals. If you both say the same answer at the same time, it's whoever said it first. Do you guys have any questions?
You're going to ask us, refresh me.
Yes. Well, I'm going to read you a question, and
Yeah.
you're going to spout out an answer as quick as you can, and
Got
then
it.
I'll remind you as we go.
Okay, good.
Here we go. Question 1. Again, answer quickly. It's a broad question. What movie character would you hire to kill John Wick?
Predator.
Okay, Hal?
The Terminator.
Ooh, okay. We have Predator and we have Terminator. Since Gray spoke first, you're going first. Time starts when you begin speaking. You'll hear ding when it's up.
I loved hearing that suggestion about making Predator a villain in John Wick, and that's why I said Predator, because I think that in order to defeat the unbelievably talented and aggressive John Wick, you need a superhuman, you need someone who's not even human in order to get in there. Predator has gone up against some of the world's biggest movie stars, strongest movie characters.
Hal?
If you took the Terminator, the T-1000, he could transform into any person, into anything, and get John Wick's trust, and he would cut his head off. The Terminator is killable, the Predator is killable. The Terminator is, oh my God, John Wick can never kill the Terminator. So hard to defeat, and...
So you're going T-1000, just so we're
Yes.
clear. Robert Patrick. Okay.
Yes.
Gray, go ahead. When time begins when you begin speaking. 10 seconds left.
Although the T-1000 was undefeatable, Predator really is going to bang up a human being, and he's going to take him out.
Hal,
Deep
10
in your
seconds.
eyes, Hal Rednick.
The T-1000 can turn into a chair. He could turn into anything. He will destroy that MF. Predator, he's not that good. He's good, but he ain't that good.
All right, Jackie, based on the arguments, where are you leaning?
I like the idea. I'm leaning towards Hal just because I want a chair to kill John Wick.
Yeah.
Patrick?
Yeah, I'm with Hal on that one.
Yeah, hard to beat. I would watch a chair kill
I'm
John
not
Wick.
entirely sure he could turn into a chair as the T-1000. They have certain rules, but yes, and for everyone at home, the T-1000 is a Terminator, so there's no violation of rules.
Yes.
They're both Terminators. Yeah, I side with Hal.
All right, Hal gets the first point there. That gives him an edge. 1 edge point, 3-2.
Yeah.
But very valiant effort, Gray. Here we go. Question 2. What is the worst movie nominated for Best Picture this year?
Uh-oh.
La La Land.
Whoa, he went there.
You gotta go there.
I'm trying in my head, I'm thinking of all the 9 nominees.
Yep, there are 9. I will tell you that.
Just agree with him.
Lion.
Lion. Wow. Okay. Lion versus La La Land for the worst film of the nominated Best Picture nominees. Hal, you're up first.
La La Land is a nice movie. It's not a great movie. It's a pedestrian film. The storytelling and the love story are very common. It's the pumpkin spice latte of movies. It's a basic bitch of movies, La La Land. There's nothing exciting about it. There's nothing unique about these characters. It is so pedestrian.
Lion is a wildly uneven story because the part that you really care about is the first half of the film and the very last part of the film. The part, ironically, that Dev Patel is nominated for is everyone's least favorite part and the weakest part of the film, containing a very weak female role as well. And that makes it the most uneven and the least satisfying.
Wow, your film has stuff to care about. My film has these white privileged idiots who no one cares about. There's nothing to latch onto. There's nothing to care about. That is a central performance by a young boy.
La La Land is about dreams and about living your dreams, and that's the reason that it's collected the consciousness of everyone and why they're talking about it so much. You're just not in touch with your own feelings, and don't be scared to feel, Hal. Feel.
All right, Patrick Dan coming to the couch. Based on the
What
arguments.
is with the show in La La Land? Like,
He had choices.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I think that
Based on the argument, Dan.
based on the argument, I believed Gray's argument more. I thought it was more of a criticism of the movie itself. So based on the argument, I am going to go with Gray.
Patrick?
Yeah, definitely. Great.
That's
Plus,
where
Hal acknowledged his movie was good.
Yeah, that's where I was leaning as well. Jackie, are you on the same page?
I'm on the same page.
All right.
The
Gray,
dreams
you're back
thing
in. We're
sold me.
tied. 3-3.
Back in. Sorry, Dev. Sorry, Indian people and non-whites.
All right, here we go. This is fun. In honor of its revival coming this April, what recent movie would work best on a Mystery Science Theater 3000?
Collateral Beauty.
Mm.
Ten seconds.
I'm gonna say La La Land.
Nice.
Okay. Time starts when you begin speaking out.
Collateral Beauty tried to shoehorn fake emotions into a movie. And how fun would that be to pick apart terrible storytelling, terrible acting, and an awful premise? It would be the guys, the comedians, Jonah Ray and everybody would tear it to shreds because it's false across the board.
Gray.
In La La Land, the singing and the dancing is not professional. It is a movie full of white privileged people. Collateral Beauty is so bad, it's not even funny with those talented comedians talking about it. It's just super sad and upsetting. And La La Land is just a bunch of white people dancing around Hollywood. Boo.
Okay, 10 seconds.
You just mentioned dancing. After you talk about that, what else is there? In Collateral Beauty, you have terrible performance. You have a contrived plot where they tried to trick Will Smith into believing this thing. It would be so much fun to tear apart.
10 seconds.
There's nothing fun about tearing apart a really sad, failed attempt at a deep film. It is so hollow that it was really, really nauseating to watch.
All right, this one's tougher for me. Jackie, going to you based on the arguments.
Wow. I was hoping that you wouldn't go to me, but I am going to have to say that I think Hal got this one just because Mystery Science Theater 3000 is known for taking things that are deathly earnest and just ripping them to shreds, and poorly done, but with the heart of a lion, to go and to say everyone tried so hard, look how poorly they did.
Yes.
And so Collateral Damage.
Well said.
Beauty.
Patrick, Dan?
Yeah, I side with Gray said that there's nothing fun about taking apart something that's kind of what they do on that show. Is they take apart things
exactly
that people
what
tried
they
really
do.
hard on. So I actually think that helped Hal's argument, and so I'm gonna side with Hal also.
Patrick?
Yeah,
All right, we're all in agreement. Hal, you're back up by 1.
Yeah, that was a better choice,
So-
but it still was.
You need to get this one, Gray, to prompt a tiebreaker, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. It's a two-choice question. Okay, I'm going to name 2 things. Who's more ready for a comeback? Austin Powers or Borat?
Austin Powers.
Hal got Austin Powers. Gray, you have a second to think because you'll be going second. Why Borat would be more ready for a comeback? Hal, when you're ready.
Within reason.
Pop culture is cyclical, and we are in a 90s phase now. Austin Powers started with the 90s, and Austin Powers, it can lends itself to more movies, more adventures. Borat is a one-movie thing. Borat, it was fun to watch. It's a Saturday Night Live sketch / Ali G sketch, and we don't want to see it again.
Gray?
We need Borat now more than ever. Because he's a man of the world. He comments on real life, taking real people in real situations and making them complete asses. Sacha Baron Cohen will not go away, accept it, everyone. And Austin Powers is over. The 90s are no longer retro hip. We're into the 2000s.
10 seconds, Hal.
Austin Powers has more adventures left in him, and he can deal with stuff going on today and stuff of yesteryear. It is very timely. That is a one-note film that doesn't have it.
Last 10 seconds, use them wisely, Gray.
What we need right now is not a British guy in a horrible suit with bad teeth. We need Borat in Trump's America to take down the establishment once more and give us that note again.
Yeah, it's like Gray had it for me there at the end when she did point out the political, because as I heard the choices, I was like, I originally thought Austin Powers, but then the more I thought, I'd be like, wow, Borat would be interesting. So you did pick it up, and I think she did. Hal's rebuttal didn't do it for me. Dan, Patrick?
Yeah, Hal confused me because his first argument was about how the 90s are in style again, and then the second part was about how it's current, and the two didn't seem to mesh together for me, so I also sided with Gray. I thought it was also a better thing about the world today could be more current.
Jackie, in agreement?
I am in agreement because Trump is essentially the villain in Austin Powers. And he's going to get $1 million. Why when there's trillions?
I'm going with this is a weird one. I'm just going to pick a weird one.
This is for the win.
This is for the win. I'm going for a weird one for the win.
That's right.
I marked it early.
Well played, Hal.
Neck and neck,
Right back at you, Gray.
It's not connected to anything. Ready? Who is the best actor who appears... Wait, that's confusing, actually. Best performance. Who gives the best performance? I think is a better way to ask this. Name the actor who gives the best performance in Love Actually.
Liam Neeson.
Alan Rickman.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a few of them, actually. You may think about it. All right.
That's an embarrassment of riches right there, that question.
Hal, Liam Neeson, go ahead.
We have it paused. You can still...
Okay.
For those listening at home, the show is not paused. It's not buffering. So I just wanted to let them know it's happened.
Liam Neeson is the only actor to really show off his acting chops in that movie. In that relationship with that child in that movie, getting him to have confidence, getting him to feel things for the first time. Liam Neeson is the only one actually not cloying and posing for the camera. Liam Neeson did real acting.
All right. Gray?
Well, Liam Neeson is not the only actor that got to show his chops, because Alan Rickman talks about the highs and lows of a long-term marriage and has that last scene in the airport, which is the topic of conversation between people when discussing Love Actually. How did that end with Emma Thompson? And that's a huge open-ended question that gives you the gift of Love Actually.
10 seconds.
You mentioned one scene. Liam Neeson is great throughout, inspiring this child to really come into his own. It's a great performance. That's the only believable storyline from that movie.
It's believable that a man that runs an office would have a sexy secretary that he's got to fight off when he has a wife for a long time and children. And Alan Rickman brings so much levity and love to a role that could have just been a villain.
Whoo! All right, go to the couch.
Well, Bill Nighy was the silver bullet in this one. Could have won that argument.
Emma Thompson,
Emma
too.
Thompson was great.
Joni Mitchell scene,
Oh,
right?
God.
I wasn't bowled over by either one.
Were you blinded by your Bill Nighy love?
I feel I was a little bit. I
get
feel
it.
like
I
I
get
don't
it.
know. Just me. I feel like Hal's opening argument was just that Liam Neeson acted in the movie,
Yes.
and I got a little bit more on Alan Rickman, so I'm going to go with Gray.
Jackie?
Yeah, Rickman.
Patrick?
I'm actually with Hal.
How come?
I thought he gave a better argument on it. I felt that there was more in there.
it was the end for me. I based on their closing arguments. Gray gave me more specifics, so I gotta give it to Gray. Gray, you won today's episode. Very close battle, though.
Well played.
Come on. Holy mackerel, it's an
showing
honor.
that
It's
scene
an
you
honor.
doing the showing the love and still the challenge, because he challenged you by saying there's the only real performance, but then you did sort of really hit it back of proving why that was also a real performance. So
I will defend my Alan
very
Rickman.
good job, and you didn't play on the fact that he's dead, which was very good, smart too, because you could have easily played that card, which you didn't, which is a good performance. You didn't pull on our heartstrings, I mean, in that. So kudos, great fight, Jackie. Bravo, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Anything you'd like to plug?
I have a new album coming out March 3rd.
Nice.
It's a comedy album. I do stand-up. Hi. And it's called I Am Not the Hero of This Story, and you can get it on iTunes or Amazon for pre-order right now, and it'll be available March 3rd.
And they can find you on Twitter?
On Twitter, @JackieCation, and @JackieCation everywhere, and FamilyPetAncestry.com is my website.
Love it. Hal Rudnick, @Hal Rudnick, as always, on Twitter. Anything you'd like to plug?
Yep, the Screen Junkie Show every Thursday, and @Hal Rudnick on Twitter and on Instagram. Hit me up.
And you're joining us for our Oscar watch-along on Sunday.
Oh, heck yeah. Very
5
excited
p.m.
about that.
Pacific, 8 Eastern time during the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be here live on Screen Junkies News, streaming along. If anybody wants to stop by, you're welcome to stop by. We're going to be doing the whole show. It's going to be fun. You'll be on you're probably doing something there, right?
I'll be on the carpet.
Yeah.
You guys, I have a dress that looks like a disco ball.
Wow,
Awesome.
nice.
Nice. Oh my God.
Yes, Gray Drake, thank you so much. Twitter @GrayDrake, right? Anything
Yes.
else you'd like to plug?
Well, before the month is up, I have my Reels special that I co-host with Leonard Maltin about the Oscars. So if you want to watch that beforehand, we'll tell you how to win your Oscar pool. Just remember, he's wrong. Always. I'm right. And also, you can check out our YouTube channel for Rotten Tomatoes, and you'll get to see such gold in the next week as me having a burping contest with John Goodman.
For
You
what
get
film?
to meet the nicest
Skull
people.
Island.
Wow.
And
Skull Island.
really take advantage of a great talent that's meant so much to me in my life. Yeah.
I love it. Dan Merle. Wow,
Nicely
sorry, I
done.
missed it.
There you go.
Dan Merle,
Yes.
Merle Dan.
@MerleDan.
You'll be there on Sunday.
I'll be there. I like La La Land, so
Yes.
I'm a big
stop
fan
it.
of it.
Stop defending La La Land. No, I'm kidding. You're allowed.
I
People
just
are
feel
very
like this show
passionate.
has been very weighted against it. I would just like to say,
Equal time.
equal time. There are some people out there that like this critically
Oh,
lauded.
don't worry.
really
Sunday
good
it'll get
movie.
lots of time.
Yes.
It's going to be the La La Land Awards.
I'm sure. @MerleDan on Twitter.
And
Dance
Patrick-
Labyrinth every Monday on
Dan's
Screen.
Labyrinth every Monday on Screen Junkies Plus. Patrick, thank you for joining us. Anything you'd like to plug?
No plugs. Thank you for having me. This is an awesome
Oh,
fight.
that's so nice.
Thank you.
Patrick. Appreciate you being here, and thanks for your help throughout the show. And thank you all at home for watching. We'll be here live after the fight. Stay tuned. If you're watching on Plus, have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, T-Mobile. T-Mobile One is all unlimited, all in. Switch today. Every podcast we put on YouTube comes with this kick-ass graphic listing all the topics your favorite Screen Junkies podcasters are talking about. If you click the topics, you can skip around and choose your own podcast battle royale. Go ahead, try them all. If you haven't already, subscribe to Screen Junkies on YouTube to join us for future fights. Or if you prefer to listen on iTunes, click the logo to download an audio version.